Justin, how close did you think you were to finishing that in the first round?
I have no idea. Can't wait to watch. I really don't. I mean, he was hurt, and I was like, what is happening? I didn't even know. I don't know. I even asked coaches, like, what did I hurt him with? I don't know what I hurt him with in the first round. He was very hurt.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. So obviously, big UFC fight on last night. I thought that it was actually a decent card. Obviously, Derek Lewis was fighting, Sean O'Malley as well, and what I thought was a decent performance. But yeah, let's get right into it. The fight that I was there for was Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett. I know you guys have probably seen the title. I do want to stress the importance of the fact that I thought it was a great fight. I was entertained from round one. They went at it, and essentially it was a great fight. Now, I am not just saying this in hindsight that Justin Gaethje has won, but I had been telling people for a while that I thought Justin Gaethje had a serious chance in this fight. Paddy Pimblett, the reason why I was never really on the hype train is because the fact that if you actually look at some of the guys that he's fought, I'll give you two examples. Tony Ferguson, 38, 39 years old when he fought him, coming off of no real momentum. Tony Ferguson had seen better days. Michael Chandler, small, decent fighter, obviously got heart. But again, 38, 39 years old, he's been in a bunch of wars. And again, coming off of, no real momentum. Paddy Pimblett, was a decent performance. But again, someone who's, way past the best, 38, 39. So I feel like you can't really take that much, from these fights. Justin Gaethje, again, Justin Gaethje is not in his prime either, 37 years old, been in some wars as well. But I felt like the difference was, I feel like Justin Gaethje had just, a little bit more left in the tank, and, is a better fighter than Tony Ferguson and Michael Chandler. And really, I mean, if you actually look into the fight last night, Gaethje won it relatively easily. I feel like you could maybe, give it 3-2 if you want to be generous. 3-2 or 4-1 in rounds. I think that's fair. So as for Paddy Pimblett, I mean, yeah, like if you actually look at the fight, I was very disappointed with his actual performance. Yes, it was an exciting fight. Yes, I think he showed a lot of heart. But we're talking about ability now. And I think in terms of heart, I mean, this is the UFC. These guys, they're getting punched in the face, they're getting kicked, knees, grappled, choked, things of that nature. So most guys have got heart. I'm looking at actual ability and the actual performance. And I thought performance-wise, Paddy Pimblett for me has got a long way to go. Justin Gaethje, obviously, has seen better days. But he really he bullied Paddy Pimblett, really. I think if you listen to the commentary, Joe Rogan, Daniel Cormier, I think they were kind of saying the same thing. I mean, Justin Gaethje didn't have a sophisticated game plan. He wasn't doing anything cute in there. It was really just, come forward and make it a rough, tough fight and swing for the fences, really. Justin Gaethje could not miss with that right hand. And Paddy Pimblett was hurt numerous times. I mean, Paddy Pimblett did well, to be honest, to get out the first round. I've actually heard Dana White saying, like, how good Paddy Pimblett's chin is. And the fact that, Paddy Pimblett said that Scousers don't get knocked out. I felt like Gaethje could have gone for the kill. That was the one thing from Gaethje that I didn't really understand. He had Paddy Pimblett ready to go numerous times. I mean, again, he almost could have got Paddy out there in the first round. On numerous occasions, I felt like he could have gone for the follow-ups, and he decided to let Paddy recover. But other fighters are not going to do that. And one thing I do want to say to Paddy, he actually should be quite happy. Because, there's been, there was talk before this fight about him versus Ilia Topuria. My goodness. My goodness, is a good thing that they were not in the same cage together, because for me, that fight does not go one round. Ilia Topuria is a lot younger than Gaethje. He's got more power. He's accurate, and if he gets you hurt, he will finish you. So look, for me, Paddy Pimblett, I think is a long way away. I always, like to look to levels, and I feel like, Gaethje, who I don't think Gaethje's elite, but he's definitely a world level fighter, coming towards the end of his career. And it was a relatively competitive fight, but essentially, there was a clear winner. And at times you got bullied and looked quite average. I've got nothing against Paddy Pimblett, but, I think he's quite funny. He's got obviously a great, fan base behind him and everything, but, we're talking sports at the highest level. And for me, I think at certain times he really looked out of his depth. And, you know, I don't think that he's, you know, as good as other people are saying. I feel like, you know, when in terms of levels, I think you look at, you know, when you look at the elite level, you know, for me, elite is guys like Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev. For me, that's, you know, the elite level. You know, those guys are the best of the best. You know, there's world level, and those guys are above that. I think like the level below is world level. You know, when you're looking at world level guys, I feel like, you know, you're looking at the likes of a Gaethje, Oliveira's, you know, world level, you know, guys like that. I still think that Paddy Pimblett to me is a step below. For me, I think Paddy Pimblett is, you know, a fringe world level guy. And I think he's, you know, got a long way to go in my opinion. So, yeah, you know, obviously, you know, it is a game of opinions. I'm not trying to be too harsh on Paddy Pimblett, but, you know, I just, you know, I give my breakdown and that's what I saw. Happy for Gaethje. You know, I'm just going to tell you straight up, he's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC. You know exactly what you're going to get every single time. You know, he's tough as nails. You know, he brings it to fight every single time. He's exciting. He goes to war and, you know, really humble in victory. So, yeah, you know, happy for Justin Gaethje. Again, I picked him before the fight. But yeah, you know, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What did you guys think of the overall card? I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent card. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you on the next one shortly.